Like my new truck?
It's just like the old one.
Yeah, it does. All right. Hello and welcome to the Full Octane Garage. I'm James, and today we are in the 2022 GMC Denali 6.2 liter 1500 Limited, which we just purchased a week ago. And if you've seen some of our other GMC Denali videos, you'll know that we buy a lot of GMCs. I believe this is the 8th or 9th GMC Denali that we have purchased since 2015. We've had just about every variant, the 2500s, 1500s, diesels, not the diesels, just about everything in between. So we've been around these trucks a lot. I traded in a 2019 GMC Denali with 80,000 miles on it for this 22. And today I'm going to talk briefly about this truck. I'll hit on all the high points and I'll let you know what to expect. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the previous truck that I owned, which is actually the identical truck to what I've got now, with some peculiar differences that are only happening in this weird world and time that we have right now. So it's not quite the truck that it used to be, but that's okay. I still bought one, right? So welcome to the Full Octane Garage. Hey, again, before you get started, if you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment down below, check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and also check out Driving with Melissa. That's more of our pictures and videos and stuff like that on Instagram and Facebook. And check out Full Octane Insurance, where you can find a great deal on your collector and classic car insurance. They rep many, many brands, including Haggerty's, which is what I use primarily at the time of this video. All right, 2022 GMC Denali. Some quick specs. It's a 6.2 liter. It's a 10-speed transmission. It has the average fuel economy on this truck is 15 miles per gallon. That is like 14 in town and 19 on the interstate. My actual experience with these trucks, with this one and definitely on the one before, is probably closer to 18 or 19 miles a gallon combined. Although I do a lot of not very busy back road driving and a lot of interstate driving. I drive about 200 miles a year. Excuse me. I drive about 200 miles a day in my Denalis, so I get a pretty good feel for where we're at. It's got we're going to call it cylinder deactivation, but it has lifters in it that deactivate for the cylinders when the truck is not under a load to save fuel economy, and that can make a big difference. If you don't push this truck and you keep it low in RPMs and hypermile it, I have gotten, and you're going to call me wrong, but I've proven this before, but I've gotten 26 to 27 miles a gallon for my 40-mile drive from the backwoods of southern Tennessee all the way into downtown Nashville in downtown traffic. Yeah, so 40 miles, 27 miles per gallon. All right, let's talk about the truck. It's the identical spec to my last truck. It's a black exterior, black interior. I think the wheels are a little bit different. Than other than that, this truck looks exactly like the last one that I had. Weighs with the four-wheel drive, this version weighs really close, like 4,980 pounds, somewhere in there. Not a super heavy truck in my opinion, and it handles very well. When you're giving it gas, you still get wheel spin and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun to drive. Of all the trucks that I've driven, just about all the cars that I've driven, what makes the GMC Denali special is this is a great place to be if you're going to spend a lot of time in a truck. Is a Denali is it necessarily like a work truck? No. Is it a 2500 that I'm going to throw loads of rock in every day? Probably not, although I have put loads of rock in it before. But I do drive around on job sites and things like that. I do haul equipment, materials to jobs at times, and carry garbage to the dump once a week, you know. So it's a great get around type of truck, and it serves its intended purpose very well. Very good on the interstate. The suspension is next to none. This truck is super comfortable to drive, very predictable. The steering is excellent for a pickup truck. Hear that? It's 30 miles an hour in here. I have to be nice in my hometown of Eagleville. But the acceleration is great. Feels like one of my sports cars when I'm driving. It just really pulls. You can actually drive it a little bit like a sports car when you're on the back roads. So that's the driving experience. It's next to none again. I'll talk about interior really quick. I would call this Denali interior, it's not the nicest of all the trucks out there. Ford may be a little nicer, generally speaking, as far as materials and things like that go. Dodge is probably nicer also as far as appearance goes. But I put 100,000 miles on Denali's, and when I got out of those trucks, the interior looked exactly like it did when I bought it. It's mostly leather, does have some hard surfaces. It's got some great little wood grain in here. I like this darker wood grain on the side doors. It has a little bit of chrome and a little bit of like a gunmetal finish to it. But it's durable. It holds up very well, and it's good to look at. And I think that's where a truck should be. This isn't one of the sports cars where you climb in and out of it. And for the amount that I drive these trucks, if this was one of my sports cars driving 80,000 miles, the bolsters would be shot in no time. So the interior is holding up super well. This truck has the updated interior that came in, when did that? 2019. The new version of this GMC Denali has it's like a larger back seat. They typically come with heated seats, although this one does not, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But it does have ventilation in the back, which is great. It has the little hidden compartments in the seats. It's got storage underneath the seats, which is really nice. They flip up. You can store a lot of stuff behind the seats. So the back seat is very nice, and it's got pockets all over the place. There's like 15 different places. That's an exaggeration to put a drink, but you can put drinks in a lot of places in here. Lots of little cubbies and little places to store stuff. I like the dual glove compartment situation that it's got. It's got an upper one that's pretty small, and that's where I put all the important documents and all, so they're real handy. And then the lower one is where the owner's manual and things like that go. But I like that it's separated so everything's not crammed in there. The center console has a ton of room. The organizer does not come with it, but I moved it from the last truck. But it's almost too deep. It's like a bucket, and you're only living off the top 3 inches of it. It has a cordless, it has a phone charger, wireless phone charger. You just drop it right in this slot right here, and it will charge your phone. That's excellent. I like this little sunglass holding spot right here, and it's got a little center area in between the cup holders that's nice to put things in. Also, and I don't normally use it, but I've started using it, it's got some nice flat storage on top of the dashboard, 2 different layers there. One's kind of a non-grip surface. Be good for sunglasses. The only thing is, it gets hot up there. It's a black dash, so if you put sunglasses up there for too long, you go to put them on, you're probably going to burn yourself. As far as, it does have a sunroof for the front seat, and it will slide and lift, and it has OnStar, HomeLink controls. All that's in the center area. The reverse mirror, well, let's step back for just a second. Now that I've covered most of the interior stuff, what does this not have compared to the 2019 truck that I had before? Well, as everyone is aware, there's a chip shortage in the world, and so there is a huge limitation on the vehicles that are being produced, and so companies like Chevrolet and Ford are tending to produce only the higher end vehicles that have more profit built into them. That kind of makes sense on a business sense, I guess. And I've experienced this on the other side, where I've tried to buy Colorados or Canyons, where I've tried to buy Canyons for my production or my workforce for my company, and they're almost impossible to find. Everybody wants over sticker for them, and so those trucks are few and far between. But the sacrifice you make on the new Denali compared to the last Denali are things like, there's a variety of things that may not come on your vehicle, and it may not come at all, or it may not come right now because of a chip shortage, but they intend to put the chips in later. So this truck, all the 360-degree cameras, the LED rear view camera, I'm pretty sure that's right. Yep, it does not do that anymore. The front camera, side cameras, all those, the wheel cameras, all those things, this truck does not have them on it, and that's because of the chip shortage. It does not have proximity alerts on the front or rear, although it does have a rear camera in the back. The proximity technology is installed, but it won't work until they put the chip in. And it says on the sales ticket that they deducted $50 because it does not have that technology, and when they get the chips, I'm supposed to be able to bring the truck by and they'll put that back in. And that's the same thing with the heated seats in the rear. It does not have heated seats right now, but when they get the chips in, I'm supposed to bring my truck in and I will have heated seats in the rear. But the front do have heated and ventilated seats, and that's great. Gosh, what else? This truck has a couple different drive modes. It's got, if I turn this big dial on the left, let's go through there. It's well, that's trailer mode. If I turn it to the left, this is a little different than the 2019 actually. And if I turn it to the right, you've got three different modes. You've got sport, off-road, and normal. Actually, I like driving it in the sport mode. You can actually tell a difference. Jump it over there. It definitely has better throttle response. I don't know if it affects the steering or not, but on my 50-mile-an-hour back roads that I drive on the way to work for 10 miles, it's a joy to drive through there. It does have two-wheel high. It's got auto, which will bring in and out the all-wheel drive as needed. You can also manually shift your transmission using this lever right here, which I've never used it before. Kurt's told me about it, but I started using it when the weather was super bad and I was driving in the snow and ice, and it was really nice to decelerate down the hill without actually using my brakes. So that was pretty cool. It's got the same technology as the last truck. You've got like your iPhone information, your nav, phone, truck settings. Then you got home, and then there's the I is just like vehicle information, and you can customize the vehicle information. That's kind of cool. So you can do different information like your fuel range. It'll show your speed, different tripometers, things of that nature. The center console is it's got your apps and stuff like that. Actually, I can go right there and you can see it. So I'm on Apple CarPlay. It's lit up right now, and you can scroll left to right and you can add apps if the apps are available for GMC. I almost always run the truck in Apple CarPlay. I really don't deal with the nav or other things very much, but you can customize this truck down to the individual settings that you want for your individual driver. It's got 2 zones temperature control in the front, and then it's just got ventilation in the back, but it does you can do separate zones left and right. Got heated seats and ventilated seats, of course. It does have, because it still has the center camera up front, it does have the collision alert, and it does have the lane keep assist. So if I were to let go of the wheel and it steers over to the side, it will steer me back to the middle. Although I don't feel the seat vibrating like I used to, so that may be a chip function also. It does have hill assist. It's got a lot of chargers in here. Got a 110 volt. Just push that button to activate that. A 12 volt and then USB and USB-C, and it also has connections underneath the center console, and it has connections in the back for the back people in the back seat. The exterior of the truck. Denalis are beautiful trucks. You get front spots in the valet when you pull up. There is no shortage of chrome on this truck anywhere. The front grille is huge, flat, and gigantic, and actually a real bird catcher, if I got to be honestly with you. Vulture and a couple of Blue Jays in the last 2 weeks, unfortunately. It's got Denali emblems all over the truck, on the seats, the steering wheel, the floorboards, and then all over outside the truck. There's no shortage of badges. They're very proud of their trucks, and they should be. It's a great truck. Love the wheels. It's the same. It's very similar to the wheels I had before, just a little bit different. This is a crew cab with a 5.5-foot bed, and I think it's like the perfect length of truck. This truck actually has a super good turning radius compared to a lot of stuff. You get into a 2500, like this has 7.9 inches of ride height. The 2500 is taller and a foot longer, and that really limits you in getting places that aren't work related, such as like regular parking lots that are tight, or if you go down into downtown and you're trying to park in some of the parking garages, the truck's actually too tall to make it through some of the parking garages. So it's a good useful height. I love the step sides on the truck. I use them all the time. I know I'm a guy, but I'm also kind of old, and once you get them, it's hard to walk away from them. They've gotten a button that you can push in the back, and it will actually slide back so that you can use it to step up into the bed or reach back into the bed on the cab side. So that's super handy to have. Great visibility. I mean, like really good visibility all the way around. It has a sliding rear window, which is super cool. I use that sometimes when I'm not driving with the air conditioning on. I like to ride with the windows down. Of course, the mirrors fold in. You can control that with the button over here on the side. Also, it does have two-person memory seating. So as long as you're not sharing it with more than two people, you're good. It's got a great Bose sound system, which I never use because I'm listening to the podcast, but I heard it's awesome. So all in all, love this truck, love my last truck. They're just a great driving experience. They're very comfortable to be in. So what is the difference between this truck and the 2019? Well, I've already talked about the chip situation, and that's the primary difference. It's not necessarily predictable that you would be missing the same thing. It depends on the specific VIN number of your truck, and it will show the items that are missing and what's going to be functional after they bring the chips back on your actual sales sheet. Kurt just bought a 2021 GMC Denali 1500 diesel, and he had a couple items that were different than mine that were missing, although the same issue with no rear heated seats and no surround camera were the same. At some point we'll do a comparison between those two trucks. So now the question remains, why did I sell a 2019 truck or trade in a 2019 truck with 80,000 miles? Well, full disclosure, we are GMC fans. We've had a ton of GMC trucks, but I gotta say, we've been struggling with a little bit of reliability issues. In the previous versions, we had issues with the transmission shutter. There was an issue with the brake vacuums on the brakes on the previous edition. I don't know if that's still a situation or not. I don't think we've experienced it in the trucks that we have now. Condenser failures, seat motor failures. Also had these automatic steps. Had the motors fail on those on the last truck also. So they can be expensive to maintain. I mean, we own right now in the garage everything. We've had a Aston Martin, we got Porsches, Jags, Corvettes, Audis. Jeez, we got a bunch of different vehicles besides the GMCs. I would say it's about par with the luxury vehicles that we're dealing with. The difference is we put so many miles on these GMCs, I guess it tends to manifest itself more. But so what happened to my truck? Well, I bought 2 trucks on the same day. I bought two 2019s, one for my business partner, one for me. The lifters failed on that cylinder deactivation situation on his at 50,000 miles. It's a major engine repair, about $10,000. Pistons, camshaft, all that stuff. So he had those replaced under warranty because the truck comes with a 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, and I think the regular warranty is 3 years, 36,000 miles. My truck had the exact same failure at 80,000 miles. It was 20,000 miles out of the powertrain warranty, and so I was staring $10,000 worth of repairs in the face. And so I went and talked to my dealer. We're a pretty good customer, and they're just really good people to deal with. It's Daryl Waltrip GMC down in Franklin, Tennessee. Again, we bought all their trucks. Besides the 8 Denalis, I bet I bought 3 other Canyons, another Sierra, and a Honda from them. So we're pretty regular customers down there. But what they did for me is they recognized my situation, and they gave me a really good deal on my trade. I got I think the trade-in value was around $42,000, and it had the motor damage, and I got $51,000 on that truck and paid sticker for this one. This was $69,000. So the difference was about $18,000, about $20 out the door. And then I added the 4-year, 100,000 mile extended warranty to it. So let's just get back to it. The GMC is the nicest truck to be around in a daily basis if you're commuting a lot, but you still need a pickup. But just to alleviate my fears and my concerns about the issues after I run out of warranty, I got the extended warranty on this truck, and we will drive them less than 4 years. We'll put less than 100,000 miles on them, and so this truck will be under warranty its entire life. And so stress-free, right? I think I've pretty much covered everything. That's the 2022 GMC Denali 1500 Limited with the 6.2 liter engine in it. Our experiences, one of the best trucks out on the market as far as drivability and things of that nature are concerned. Reliability, I think they're par for the course. Every brand's got their own issues that they're going to have, but I consider that extended warranty. I think mine was $2,500. I think that's $2,500 well spent. I've definitely spent more than that on the last 2 trucks after they've run out of warranty. And then, I mean, you're driving a luxury truck. This is a $70,000 truck. You spend a couple more grand on the extended warranty, and then you've got no worries for 100,000 miles of driving. So let me know what you think. What are your experiences with your GMC products, your 1500s or your Denalis? Or what do you think as far as maybe our next truck should be a Ram, or our next truck should be a Ford, or a Nissan or Toyota for that matter? I can't really tell the difference between those and the American-made cars anymore anyways. But that's our review for the 2022 GMC Denali. We appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage. Again, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up. Even if you don't like them, thumbs ups are always great. Leave comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you soon at the Full Octane Garage.